Hi guys, and welcome to Cooking with Z. I am excited that you guys are here, and as you guys well know, this channel is dedicated to Spanish recipes. A few of them probably might not, but mostly 99% of my recipes will be Spanish, and it'll be my version of how I cook my recipes in my kitchen. And as I know, there's a lot of different Spanish people that cook differently. This is my version of the way I was taught to cook from generation to generation, from my grandparents to my mom to me, and I'm trying to pass it down now to you. So today we are cooking pink beans. Now, as I know that there is a lot of different kinds of beans. There's garbanzo beans, there's northern beans, gandules, which is a big traditional bean for us that we mostly use on the holidays, which the holidays are coming up, so I will be making a traditional gandules with rice. But today, I am going to make pinto beans, okay? So it's very easy. I'm not going to make a long video. I did start to boil the potatoes so that it wouldn't take so long. I just took an average potato and I just cut it in average size. I'll show you. About this size, okay? You can cut it bigger or smaller. I don't like to cut it too small because what happens is while it's boiling, if it's too small, it will deteriorate in the water. So you don't want to cut it too tiny where, you know, when you're moving the sauce around and moving around the beans, that it'll break apart. Like you want it to stay all together, okay? So I'm going to show you what you guys are going to need in order to make these beans, okay? You're going to need adobo, of course. Every Puerto Rican house and every Spanish house has adobo. You're going to need tomato sauce, okay? It doesn't matter the brand, Goya, you know, this one is from Kroger. It doesn't really matter what, you know, which one you use. Cajun, of course, we need sazon. Okay, you want to definitely have sazon. And we're going to use some black pepper. We're going to use a little bit of curry. We're going to use some soul food. Now basil. Okay. And of course, sofrito. There is a recipe on my channel of how to make sofrito if you don't know how to make it. And we have garlic. I am going to make a video on how to make garlic. This one is just the regular minced garlic, but there is a sauce that we use for garlic, okay? And I'm using 2 cans of the pinto beans, okay? You can use 1 depending on how many people you're cooking for. And if you're trying to cook for 1 day or 2. In this house, I always have to make 2. 1 is not going to do it. Now, I took just a small piece of the peppers and I minced them very tiny. Okay? As you can see, they're very, very small. Okay? Which I pre-cut here for you guys to see. Okay, I also took like 4, you can make 4 to take 4 to 6 of the tiny little tomatoes. I mean, if you don't have the small ones, you can take half of a regular tomato and just cut it in little tiny pieces, okay? Just in little minced pieces. And I like, you can use whichever onion you prefer, whether it's the red onion or the white onion. I prefer the red one today. I go back and forth depending on which bean I make. Like if I'm making the dark red beans, I like the white one. And just 2 strips of red pepper, which I'm going to dice in very finely, okay? Now the potatoes have been boiling for at least 5 to 8 minutes. So you don't want them to be completely fully cooked soft before you put the beans in, okay? So I already drained the beans. There are people that leave the water. I don't take all the water out, but I do take, I want to say half of the water out because there is already water inside my pot, okay? And then if I need more, then I put more. Which it looks like I'm going to need a little bit more water. Maybe half a can. I don't want to put too much because I do want it to be nice and thick. Okay. So, now that we do that, we're going to move it around, make sure the potatoes are comfortable and are able to float around and be able to cook themselves in enough space so that they can take all the flavor that you're going to put in there now, okay? Now, I always tell people not to be afraid to use sofrito. Don't be afraid to actually put sofrito in there. It's not going to damage your food. It's going to make it taste delicious, okay? So I'm going to put a big spoon of this in here because I have 2 cans, okay? I'm actually going to use 2. If you don't feel comfortable, you can use 1. I used a big spoon. All right? Now, minced garlic, I'm not going to use that big spoon. I'm going to use a medium. It's the size of a big tablespoon. And I'm going to use half of that. Okay? Nothing crazy. And I am going to use, I'm going to use a spoon so that you guys, it'll make you guys feel a little bit better. And little less than half a teaspoon, okay? And we are going to do the same for Cajun. Cajun is an amazing, amazing seasoning, guys. I mean, it is so delicious. I mean, this is a little bit more than half of a teaspoon, okay? We're going to do 1 pack. Some people use half a pack of sazon, but I, especially because I have two cans in there, I'm going to use a full pack. Now, most people just think that this is just for coloring, but it really isn't. It has a lot of flavor in this little tiny pack. You would be surprised. You can use it for beef stew, you can use it for rice, for soups. I mean, pretty much for anything that you want more flavor in. Now, these are dilled peppers. I'm only going to put 1, 2, 3, okay? Well, 4. Now, I won't put the juice because it'll make it way too spicy. When it's boiling, it's actually going to already, the spices will automatically come out. If you don't like spices, then you can either leave it out or just either put 1 or 2 and it will still taste really good. Now, I'm only going to sprinkle a little bit of basil, okay? And a little bit of curry. Less than half a teaspoon, okay? Now, let's move this around before I put anything else in there. You might want to taste it. See so far how your flavoring is going. That's the one thing about cooking. You constantly have to be tasting to make sure. I'd rather put a little, how can I say, a little less than too much, because you can always adjust it. If you put too much, then, you know, it ruins the whole recipe. But if you put a little less, and then if you taste it, then you'll be like, okay, I can put a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that. Now I'm going to put in the garlic and the red onions, which I'm going to cut the rest of this onion right here. I had cut a slice already, so that's two thin slices, and just mince it. And the same thing for the little red peppers. I mean the red pepper. So it depends. Some people like to cut the red peppers in big slices and leave it in there. I like mine to be small. So it's it depends on your preference. And like I said, I put here, this is just 4 little cherry tomatoes. You can use more or less, or not use them at all. It's up to you. I'm forgetting something. A little, just 2, 4 of the soul food. But it barely comes out. Now, since the potatoes are already cooked, well, barely, almost cooked. Oh my God, that's delicious. I am going to put, this is because of my preference, a little bit more of Cajun. And once it comes to boil, okay, once that you have already put your potatoes in, because the main thing is to make sure that your potatoes are in at the right time. If you put your potatoes in and if you use a fork and you poke them and they're not hard but they're not super soft, then you put your beans in, okay? Don't wait till your fork goes completely through and the potato is really soft. Then that means that you waited way too long. Because what happens is you're going to boil this again. So you don't want the potatoes to be overcooked, which can happen very easily because they're constantly on the fire. They're constantly being on the heat. So once the potatoes, now, I do want to say this. We don't always, actually, we don't usually use the canned beans, okay? Which I think they're fine. We also use the pack of beans, the ones that you actually boil for like an hour and a half. I do make those, but not all the time. This is a lot more efficient, a lot faster, and if you make it correctly, the way that I'm showing you guys, you cannot really tell a whole lot of the difference. Of course, it is always going to be better when you make something from scratch. No matter what it is, it's always going to taste better from scratch. But this is very, very close when you make it correctly, okay? So I want to say, of course, I'm probably not going to wait the whole 5-8 minutes. It's boiling pretty good. Like I said, I did have it boiling for like 8 minutes before I started recording. Now, it smells delicious in here. Sometimes I usually cut a couple pieces of cilantro, like, fresh, and you throw it in the mix, and it's amazing. So it's boiling pretty much. I can see that you can see it in the video because I can see it. Now we're going to put the tomato sauce, okay? Then I'm going to cover it for like 5-10 minutes, and then we'll put it on a bowl, okay? Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I put 4 big spoons of tomato sauce on there. Now you can put more or you can put less. Sometimes I put between 4 to 6. It depends on how many beans you're putting in there. Usually between 4 and 5, I think it's a good amount. Okay, so I am going to get the cover, and once you cover, now I don't cover the whole thing, okay, because one, it starts boiling and the steam starts coming out through the sides, and it just starts spilling all over the place. So what I do, I just kind of put it to the side and just leave a little bit of the top open so that the steam can come out, and it actually boils and cooks a lot faster, but it's still covering enough where it helps it cook quickly, because that's what it does. It helps it cook quickly, and all of the flavor gets infused into the beans a lot quicker, okay, which is what we want. So I'm going to put it on medium now because it was on high. So you want to lower the fire because you also do not want the beans to get burnt at the bottom, okay? Now you are going to move them every like 5 minutes. If you put it on medium, you should be fine. And I'm putting it on medium. I'm going to let it boil for like another 5 to 8 minutes, and we'll come back and check on them, okay? So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay guys, as you can see, the beans are boiling. They've been on the stove for like an additional 5 to 8 minutes. I'm going to turn them off because they are done. Let me wipe this back here. Now you want to move them around, make sure that nothing got stuck to the bottom. They should not have been. Oh, they look beautiful. Usually, I just let them sit after they cook. I let them sit for like a few minutes. Not only just to cool, but to let the flavor and everything just settle. So when you're cooking it at home, I suggest that you do the same. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna pour it in the bowl. But like I said, normally after you cook it, then after you turn it off, then you do close the pot, and then just let it sit there and simmer for, it doesn't have to be long, for maybe for 3 to 4 minutes. Just let the beans settle, and then you can serve it when it's done, or you can just leave it there for whenever you're ready. Now some people eat it just by themselves. You can add meat to it, which I'll probably make another video showing you how to do that. This one is just regular beans. It's pretty hot. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe I put too much. Oh, and they are wonderful. You know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick up this and you can see the beans. Can you see that? Look how beautiful it looks. Look at the pot. And like I said, you can put this on the side with beans, with rice. That's how I do it anyway. With white rice or with red rice. So it depends on, your preference, what it is that you like to eat it with. I usually either do it with white rice and some kind of vegetable, or I do it with yellow rice. There's different kinds of yellow rices you can do. You can do rice with either chicken inside, with corn inside, with sausages inside, all different kinds of rices that you can do. I'm going to actually start making the different kinds of rices that I actually make, and I think that you guys will enjoy it. Of course, everybody always talks about the Spanish rice, which they consider the arroz con gandule, and the red rice with actually the red beans inside. But there's a lot of different kinds of rices that I make. Like I make the red rice with corn. I make red rice with sausages, chorizos. Um, those are two different kinds. Chorizos and Italian sausages is two different kinds. You can make it with chicken, with shrimp, spam, which is one of my favorites. So there's so many different kinds. You can make vegetable rice, with corn and green beans and carrots and all different kinds of ways to make rice. So we're gonna have a whole lot of fun, guys, experimenting and doing all of these different kinds of videos. Okay, so I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys will try these beans at home. I guarantee you that your family's gonna like them, you're gonna like them, because they are delicious. Okay, so I will see you guys in the next video, and please tell me what you think. If you enjoyed it, if you tried it, if you liked it, if you have an idea of what you think one of my videos should be, or if you have a request of what you think I should cook, I really want to hear it. I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear your ideas. So just leave me a comment, and I will reply to you. I will hit you back. Please like, please subscribe, and please share if you think that someone else will enjoy this video. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. And I will see you again in my kitchen with another recipe. So you guys have a good one, and I will see you soon. Bye.